What we found is that the hosts in London are really exceptional and that they're trying to do their best to find any way they can to make their guests more comfortable, to build relationships with them. And despite rising cost, people are concerned about communicating with people who speak an entirely different language in their home.
The communication barrier, it's been created. How are you going to bridge that gap?
One thing we've been very impressed with everyone in the UK is that they're willing to take on the challenge. And whether it's learning from cookbooks or whether it's learning from a simple dictionary, everyone's up for the challenge and is really embracing this in a very robust way. What we do is we build a product called Pocketalk. And what it is a simple, handheld, two-way translation device, microphones on both sides, but with a touch of a button, it allows you to translate English into Ukrainian and Ukrainian into English. And what happens is it's the difference between saying, good morning, how are you, to really having discussions and having conversations and getting to know people and understanding their story. Nothing delights people more than having conversations in their own language.
They've obviously suffered such a horrible last few months. How important is it that we make them feel welcome and we try and, it's not just a one-way street, it's a two-way street?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And making people feel welcome in the early stages is going to be just a lot about, is this a comfortable place? Is this a safe place? Do I feel good here? Can I have my children here? But as time goes on, really making them feel welcome is letting them know that we appreciate and understand your language and culture. And we're going to avail ourselves of tools to help us out. Because I can't be expected to learn Ukrainian. You can't be expected to learn English. So devices such as the one which I've shown have really, really been beneficial in making these kind of relationships much more enduring beyond greetings and salutations. We deployed these immediately to the front line in Poland. We deployed these immediately to Afghanistan when it was needed during the crisis there. And we've learned so much about language and humanity and building those connections and relationships. And using human translators is helpful, but it often takes away from just the one-on-one discussion, being more comfortable opening up to you. And so availing yourself of these kind of tools really is, I think, a game changer. And we live in a great age where technology like this is available.
With the distribution process, how are you getting these, very small machines to the people who need it most?
Yeah, whenever we find situations that are pressing and situations that are urgent, we do donate the product. And in the case of when we began to see the refugees pouring into Poland and then realize that they don't speak the same language and everyone was trying to help. And one of our observations is these people had just gone through a horrific journey. And the thing they needed the most was to be heard, to talk to somebody. Blankets and clothes were all fine, but right now I have a medical condition. I can't find my mom. I don't know where my kids are. Is my hometown still there? And it was those kind of, the hierarchy of human needs. Language was first and foremost. And I think everybody did such a tremendous job at getting things to the front line. However, getting conversations to the front line really turned out to be the most pressing. From there, we continue to learn and we continue to do research in London. We want to be on the front line and we want to be helpful.
The war in Ukraine is obviously still going on, and sometimes I feel like with news stories that are like this and which continue and keep going, they can sometimes be forgotten and take a back seat. How important is it that we continue to shine a light on these issues revolving around the war and conduct studies like yours and create ideas to continue bringing this to light?
I think it's incredibly important that we do that. And while we live in a time of great uncertainty on so many fronts, we do also live in a time where technology can be our friend. And if we can avail ourselves of new tools, new technology, AI, language learning, things of that nature, I think it's really going to be great for both parties, and we don't have to go about um, things the way we always have. There's new tools available. There's new solutions such as Pocketalk, and you'll be able to again not just service the refugees and build relationships with them short term, but really get to know them long term. And that's going to be, I think, the big difference.
You mentioned it earlier. Prices in the UK are skyrocketing. Cost of living is skyrocketing. Why do you think then, with extra mouths to feed, that this cost is still isn't the highest priority when welcoming in refugees?
When thinking about cost, I think it's one of the things that we were really impressed with in our research is there's this amazing British spirit. There's this spirit of can do. There's this spirit of I will take that on, and I think that that's really quite remarkable. And I think everybody understands these are extraordinary times, and they're going to require extraordinary effort and extraordinary commitment to making things happen. But we're in awe of what we learned in the research and are so appreciative of everybody there.